Welcome, I think, to part 4 of this book. We are now on page 4, so that's very fitting and cringy. In this book, I am just showing you examples of things that I do, but the idea is for you to create your own plan for yourself based on what your doctor recommends. It took me months to make and to be able to walk around with around, goodness gracious, 5 pounds on each ankle. I started off with 1 pound per leg and worked my way up. So again, what works for me may not work for you. I'm like around 120 pounds in somewhere between 5'5" and 5'7". If you happen to be a giant, 5 pounds per ankle weight is ridiculous. You can do way more, perhaps. Check your doctor. Make sure you don't die doing this, which is a common theme with Brian Johnson. Don't die. The same can be said about the inversion rack, right? So I started slowly with just a couple of minutes and worked my way up to 30. I also found that more than 30 doesn't work well for me. If I do more than 30, I get a little bit queasy, sometimes could cause headaches or whatever. So I cap it at 30 in the morning and 30 before bed. Remember to do all your urination and defecation before you get on the inversion rack. And also do not eat close to your inversion rack before bed, because that will make you puke. Anyway. So, I had to test myself every step of the way. There is no point in me telling you how much water or protein or fruit and veggies or meat you should eat every day. You do you. I eat what I eat based on what I can consume and doesn't make me pukey and doesn't make me sick. If you don't eat enough vegan protein as a vegan, you will get sick. So please eat plenty of vegan protein, or you will get headaches and you will quit your diet, which would suck. Anyway, so I am in the range of 5'5" to 5'7", depending on who you ask. Because I shrank a considerable amount due to gravity, bad posture, and age. I weigh around 120 pounds. It could range to a little bit more, depending on how much I've eaten overall in the day and had to drink, which is somewhere in the range between 56 to 58 kilos, depending on how much I eat and drink daily, which varies especially on the drink side, because I do not exercise a lot. One of the ways we can reduce our digestive struggles is to blend our food and make smoothies or pancake or burger-like foods that require very little chewing. If we go to a vegan route, we can avoid all gluten and lard, which is healthier. And if we are missing on healthy fat, we can eat nuts or add vegetable oil such as olive oil to the mix. Some people who can't use the inversion rack due to physical ailments can opt for yoga, Pilates, or just crawling on all fours for at least 5 minutes per day continuously without breaks is better. Why? Because otherwise you will do anaerobic instead of aerobic exercises and you won't work your cardio. Anyway, that's real science. Anyway, study shows, but you can also ask your dancer friends, yoga instructors, sports coaches that flexibility and ground exercises have and help them stay fit into their 70s, etc. Many people who stop all activities that lead to them becoming and being basically completely bipedal and never doing anything on all fours lose flexibility and motor functions earlier than those who do this regularly, because although we are more robotic than most other species of animals, we have not fully evolved to being bipedal. One of the biggest mistakes that human beings do as humans is we forgo our for being on all fours. So people who practice jujitsu, people who do yoga, Pilates, and a bunch of other things are more likely to be more flexible and live longer lives. It's science. We are living a biological experience and are still very much required to be quadrupeds at some point. We will notice that it is very uncommon for children to be lacking in flexibility and suffer from back pain, especially if they spend a long time rolling around on the ground and crawling. The children who develop early back problems tend to sleep in very soft beds and tend to stand all the time or end up sitting with bad posture in chairs and couches. The lack of exercise like running, jumping, and crawling leads to low vibration in our bodies. Our bodies and organs need to be vibrated enough to shake off impurities, toxin, and be an unsuitable environment for parasites. But also bone density and osteoporosis can be more prevalent in people who never exercise and never get stimulation or overall body vibration. Part of the reason why in the old days people would punch stuff over and over, whether it was brick walls or try to break bricks or punch the tree or use punching bags and all that stuff, was to give vibration all the way through our bodies, which helps with all of the conditions I mentioned, including reduces your chance of creating a nice and hospitable parasitical environment. That is why astronauts have a hard time living in zero gravity and have to exercise strongly in space in order to be able to return safely to Earth and not break a bone. There are some very interesting studies regarding anti-aging gene therapies. Two interesting products that have been released are M&M and NAD. They don't work for me. I tried them. They didn't work for me, but they might work for you. Again, everybody's different. They are said to help inspire anti-aging. The other method, of course, is the keto diet, but also my personal diet seems to have similar results as well, by only when followed strictly, when I'm not always able to do. So what that means basically is if I can stay within the lines, I'm fine with my vegan diet. I don't need keto or others. Some may wonder what other alternatives are available to help them with inversion rack is not usable. So there are other chances of things that you can do if you can't do the inversion. One could use electric stimulators, right frequency machines, massage guns, or even if you have a bigger budget, there are machines that are similar looking to elliptical training machine, but instead of actively exercising, you just stand on it and it vibrates your entire body, vibrate platform machines. The reason I get excited about people like Sugar Queen, Brian Johnson, Peter H. Diamandis is because finally there are actual scientists out there who are doing the data research and that are showing the evidence of what I have been screaming about for the past 20 years about, for human beings are not eating and living healthy lifestyles. And the norm on what doctors consider to be normal behavior is is a perfect recipe for short, unhappy lives that may last up to about 40 to 50 years, but not much further than that. So basically, that is why I created this book, Tame Your Brain, and now you have a copy of this that you can just listen to me ramble for whatever amount of minutes online. So basically that is all that I wanted to do, guys. And with that, take care, live more prosperous lives, and I'll see you all in the next one. I bet this was cringy, but hopefully helpful. Cringy and helpful.